All right, welcome back to the AAA podcast, the show that gives you access to all areas to everything, music, nightlife, and everything in between. My name's Lewis. I've got Joel next to me today, and we do have a special guest with us. Now, your DJ name is Mishtee. Mm-hmm. Do you want us to address you as Mishtee or
whatever
Mish?
You like?
Whatever?
Call me Mish.
Mish?
Yeah.
All right, cool. So, yeah, you are a DJ. You're based now in Perth again? Or?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you kind of travelled you've been all around, haven't you, really?
Like I was living in Bali, now that's 2019, so for the first 5 months of last year.
Yeah.
Was based there. My health got really bad, so I decided to come home earlier than I thought it would be. And I stopped doing a lot, mostly nightclub and touring kind of work, and now picking and choosing what I want and a lot more corporate stuff.
Yeah. Do you feel that, because obviously, this is actually weird because last night I watched, have you seen the new Avicii?
No, I want to.
It's so good, but one thing that just grabbed me just then is what you were saying about how you picking and choosing and not touring. When you watch it, I'm not going to spoil it for you or anyone that hasn't, but there's a lot of, it was just show after show after show after show, and it wasn't kind of enjoying it, and he took a break, I think, for a while. He had a 6-month break, but then it was back into it. It's kind of you can't take a 6-month break and then you're straight back into doing 10 shows a week or 15 shows a week or whatever it might be.
It was really weird. And I knew it was happening. The last club night I played at Sky Garden, and I knew it was my last one, so it was really emotional. And I played one of his songs, and it was a big night with all my friends there. And then I finished playing, and I was like, "This is weird. I'm not going to be in clubs anymore. My life's about to change." And my friend goes, "Avicii just died," and I was like, "What?" It was so weird. And then to find out why, I don't know. I kind of took it as obviously that was Avicii, but I was like, I felt it was the right move. Yeah. For me.
Yeah, it wasn't. Yeah, obviously not the right move for for him. Obviously, it's not something to take lightly. But I feel like his, I learned so much watching that documentary about him and how smart he is, and the people that he was writing with is just incredible. But it's something that people don't take into account or don't look at with DJs. I think we went through it when we talked to Camille recently about the side of him being a photographer and having a turnaround of less than 24 hours to turn around a massive amount of photos. The same with you with touring. People go, "Oh, you're traveling everywhere," but they don't realize how it's literally just plane, hotel, play, hotel, plane.
Yeah, I will say towards the end, I overbooked myself, but when I was living in Bali at the end, I would play at Sky Garden on a Friday night, get home, try and sleep a bit, wake up at 6 or 7 a.m, fly, usually 2 flights, get to somewhere, sound check, go to a hotel, can't sleep, drink more coffee, wait to get picked up, go to the club, play, go back, sleep for a couple of hours. I think the worst it was 2 hours. No, the worst it was I went from the club to the airport with my bag and then would fly 2 flights home, finally get back to Bali, get back to my villa, and then be in bed for 2 days because I was just fatigue, crippling fatigue. Couldn't move.
It's crazy. I don't think it's the side that everyone wants to tour, and if you're a DJ, that I guess that would be one of the goals that people want to do. But then you, once you're doing it, you're grateful, but at the same time you're this isn't as easy as what.
And different kind of touring. I was thinking about it the other day when I went to Mauritius, which was my first international gig, and that was so beautiful. The promoters were lovely. I was there for 7 days and played 3 shows. But I saw so much of the place, and they took me for the local food, and it was a tropical island. It was beautiful, but the touring that I was doing in the end was fly in, fly out stuff. It was not, I don't even know where it was.
It's the misconception too, though. Everyone sees what you put on the Instagram, and they see you at your best. They're not there to kind of see what you're doing behind the scenes.
At airports, not great. Happy New Year's.
Oh yeah, Happy New Year's. I should be drinking, but I just haven't yet. I went a whole year without drinking alcohol.
That's amazing.
Yeah, but now I'm like, but now I'm at
And it is. I went like 3 months.
I think the longest I've done in adult life is 9 months. And I've done it twice.
That's
in adult
very
life. What
impressive.
In adult life, I'm talking when you're over 18.
As a kid,
A
I went.
year?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, I went a year.
Amazing.
So I started obviously New Year's Day, and yeah, I was gonna have a drink on New Year's. I worked so much, like I did so many venues. It's like I can't be bothered, and then I just haven't.
How was your productivity?
It was good. Like I feel good. Like
It was good, not great.
no. Like I felt a lot better. Like I didn't wake up like every weekend. Like if I drank like consistently, it's just like you feel like crap the next day, or like. Whereas now, like I drink so much water, but now I don't want to drink. Like I could go and drink now. I could have one, but I'm like I just can't. I don't know. I can't be bothered, like kind of thing. Like I appreciate it a lot more. I think that's what I've said to a lot of people is that, like before it was like let's go out and get smashed. Whereas now it's kind of like I appreciate going out and having a drink or having a couple of drinks with friends and that kind of thing as well. So, but yeah, it's I don't know. You should try it. Everyone should try it.
Yes. The last year I really barely drunk.
Yeah.
And then like now that it's New Year's, okay. So then last year and then the year before that I went through really intense phases of like actively not drinking.
Yeah.
Really enjoyed it.
It is it definitely helps with your health. Like you do feel a lot more like what's the word? You just have a lot more energy.
Yes.
And yeah, you just feel better. But
Going back to the touring thing, this is kind of like the same effect that we've talked about before. You know, like once you've got access to the backstage, remember how we covered that? Once you've been behind the scenes at the festivals, or you've been backstage at the club, or you've been in the green room, would you say touring is kind of the same? Like once you actually hit that, it's like, oh, like this is it. Like it had this huge kind of like sunshine over it. Now all of a sudden it's kind of more gloomy than people kind of perceive.
Different kind of touring because I very, very early on in my career, I got an amazing opportunity and got asked to go on tour with Theophilus London and Big Boy from Outkast. And so I went on the Australian tour and that was crazy. Like the Sydney show I loved. There was maybe the Queensland one I didn't so much, but it was different every show and then you get so close with the people you're touring with. But I guess it's really different when you're touring by yourself.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So, and yeah, different kinds of touring, I guess.
because when you tour, obviously because there's a lot of supporting shows and the acts that you've supported, the list goes on, which we'll get to in a second. But when you tour, like say you're doing your Asia stuff, or you even done some stuff like in the US and all of that as well. Majority of that is touring by yourself, like it.
Yeah.
Like there's no. Do you have you had like tour managers or like photographers come with you?
Yeah, tour manager in Vietnam, the same one that came with me. In America, I played with my friend and another DJ, Stacey Todd. We did the Chicago ones together, and then I went to Austin, played there by myself. So much fun with Stacey. We have a lot of fun together.
that expression.
Yeah.
There's more to that
than a lot of fun, and we've played in Singapore together.
Yeah,
as well. She's my favourite person to tour and play with for sure.
I feel like there's more stories here than you can share with us.
Yeah.
Without digging her into it.
Yeah, she just got engaged, so.
Okay, all right. We'll leave it. Now, with obviously the touring, and I was saying before, like your supporting acts. So like you've had people like from Fat Man Scoop, Kid Ink, even down to George Maple as well. Is there anyone that stands out as like an act that you obviously because you've done a couple of times as well? Is there anyone that really stands out or?
I was really impressed with Kid Ink. He was amazing to watch. I'd always been such a fan of his. So to open for him, and he was so nice.
Yeah.
Him and all his crew were so lovely. And for him to say your set was really dope was, amazing to hear. And then his performance I loved. Yeah, probably my favourite.
Yeah. Is there anything that really stands out from any of the shows or any of the supporting, like any of the touring stuff that you did with any of the other acts? Like you're saying, was it Big Boy?
Yeah, he was amazing. Him and all his crew were fantastic. And that was very, very early in my career. I was so green, to the point where I'd never played to that many people. I hadn't played that loud before. I was playing on vinyl, and the rapper that I was the DJ for was jumping on stage, and my needles were jumping, and I didn't know to just put it on internal mode. So I was like, oh, what's going on? And he's screaming at me on stage. And I was, you learn really quick in those scenarios.
Was that you learnt pretty quickly from that?
Yeah, character building. Character building.
Was that were they nice people? Like, were they nice people to work with, or was it very just like you kind of it was a learning curve?
Learning curve, like you see some egos, and I guess at that level you have to have it, and especially with rappers. But really nice people as well.
Yeah. Now, obviously, yeah. So you've done a lot of touring. You've toured pretty much. When I was looking back through your stuff, I did a bit of research, and like you've, as you said, Vietnam. You've done Asia. What you got? The US.
Mauritius was fun. I played in South Africa.
Oh wow,
that was cool.
Obviously, you've done stuff in the States as well. Is there any kind of standouts?
Maybe Mauritius. That was just such a magical trip, my first one. So I really didn't know what to expect. And it was interesting because they had contacted me, the promoters, through my Facebook page. So this was all new to me, and I didn't have a tour manager for that. So I was kind of getting on the plane going, will I ever come home? I don't know.
Someone's like, we're flying you out to this place.
to murder you. Yeah. But that was just amazing. And I played at a nightclub the first night, a boat party the second day, and that was just so amazing. On the catamaran, they'd asked me to play hip-hop, which was really interesting because I was ready to, and then the DJ before me played this amazing deep house set for these raft up of boat parties, and I was like, if I play hip-hop right now, it'll bomb and it'll kill the vibe and it'll be terrible. And yeah, again, that was quite early in my career, but I somehow just pulled this house set out my ass, and it was one of my favourite sets I've ever played. And everyone was like, yes, and it was just the best. Like, I remember it so clearly.
It's is it crucial to, I guess, plan? Like, a lot of people, I guess, at the start of their career plan their sets like to a T.
Oh, yeah.
But then you get to a point where, and I think you've mentioned this before, Joel, where you kind of, you learn to just look at the crowd or play to the crowd. Is that something that you felt like at the start you did a lot of?
For sure. Like, probably at like house parties I used to be so nervous. But now I don't. Left Bank recently, there was a few, I just had a few songs together that I had got decks out, and I just kind of tested how some worked together so I could have some like, whoa kind of reactions. But haven't planned them for a long time, but I get it, and I did it for a very long time. You
kind of, as you said, like you have those like a few like, I guess, gags or kind of moments where people are like, oh, like, but other than that, you kind of just wing it.
Yes. Especially playing EDM, which is interesting because I'm predominantly a hip-hop DJ. Learned how to play EDM, and I was getting booked a lot in Asia to play EDM, so I would just kind of sort them into playlists of like hard bangers to play at the start, vocal bangers, hip-hop breakdown bangers, filler instrumental bangers, and I just kind of pick and choose. But I wouldn't even know those tracks that well. I'd have to cue them up and be like, oh, yeah, that song, I'll play that one next.
Yeah. You haven't really... whereas, do you know, like, hip-hop, you can kind of look at this.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know straight away, like, this is this song. Whereas EDM, it's kind of like, give me a second to...
Yeah.
And then like, that's... I've had those moments, like, when Joel's playing, I'm like, what is this? And then you're like, oh, wait, like, I know that song kind of thing. Were you going to say something, Joel?
Yeah. Through all the travels in these different countries, like, where did you find that the crowd kind of was, like, really appreciated and just kind of, like, showed you the most love?
Funnily enough, what's coming to my mind is playing EDM. They treat you like you produce the music yourself. It's weird.
Yeah.
Weird.
Would you say when you're in a foreign country, and I want to word this in a way that doesn't come across bad, but would you say that they kind of, because you're foreign and because you're there, they put you up a lot higher than you actually are?
100%. 100%.
But then do people take that on and build their egos from that?
I found kind of in Australia and other Western countries, it's kind of like they booked you in, they paid the ticket and all the rest. They're like, well, yeah, man, that's cool. But like, you won't get that same treatment that you would have in a third world country. Or maybe not even a third world country, but just
where you're
a
foreigner.
non-Western country. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
When you're not like, if you're in Australia.
It's not like I go and play at the cot on a Sunday and everyone's like, whoa, Mishtee, I'm your crazy fan. I'm like,
or like even like,
I'm sure you have one.
Take some of the Western countries you did say, like even like a USA, and then you compare it to Singapore, Mauritius, Bali, and all that kind of stuff.
USA was really interesting. One of my favourites that I played there was this Chicago underground club, and it was a hip hop club. And I found some people coming up to me, giving me fist bumps, being like, what is your SoundCloud? Where can I follow you? And other people hissed at me and left. And I was so upset because I was like, I love hip hop. Like, this isn't, like, I'm not putting this on. I'm not standing here for a gag. Like, I love this. And it was like, well, you're female and you're white and blonde. Like, this isn't real.
That segues perfectly into what I was going to ask. No,
the female thing?
No, well, this is like, I'm gonna get reamed if I don't ask it, and I'm gonna get reamed if I do.
Open book.
But
let's go.
Do you feel that, as a generalization, that female DJs get booked more for their looks than they are their talent, and is that then like the talent is overlooked based? It's more like, hey, you're like, for yourself, you're blonde, beautiful girl.
Thank you, Lewis.
Are they just looking? No, but are they just looking?
No, I hear what you're saying, and I definitely think there's been opportunities that I have gotten because I'm a female.
Yeah.
But then once I have them, it's like you have to prove yourself that much more. They expect you not to be able to play.
Yeah.
And it's like, are you even pressing buttons there? Like, what are you doing? And is it shit? Are you like, what are you doing?
Because I think
you have to prove yourself that much more.
So like
I get what you're saying. You're saying you got the foot in the door that bit easier.
Yeah.
But once you had the job, they knew what they were signing up for, but they kind of like, yeah, she's going to do a mediocre job.
Mm.
And I think that, is basically that, like, guys may not get those opportunities, but then when they're playing, like, you could literally be doing nothing and no one's going to bat an eyelid. But
exactly.
Have you had that a lot where people like?
Yeah, for sure. I've had even other DJs like laughing in my face and being like, Paris Hilton. And I'm like, step aside. Yeah. Like, enjoy the show. Like, after a while, I just don't care.
You should be like, am I on that pay rate as well? $2 million a show? Yeah. $2 million a show. And it's like, I think a 30-minute or an hour set.
Get it, Paris?
Yeah. I mean,
at the end of the day, you can laugh it off.
Yeah, she's the one getting.
She's laughing at you.
Yeah. She could literally be pressing one button, but she's getting $2 million a show. Like,
wow.
Yeah. But I definitely think that's something that, like, it's just a part of, like, the industry is that people look at females, and I know a lot of female DJs that are very successful, but they're looked at as just, you're literally just an object or a figure.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, even you were saying before that, like, you study, and you have been studying as well, and I find a lot of female DJs have that backup of, like, they've been at uni for the last, like, 4 or 5 years studying something, or they have a degree or whatever. And
I have a degree as well. I have a media and communications degree, and it wasn't until the last semester. At the time, I wanted to do broadcast journalism, but everything kind of was a melting pot that pushed me into DJing, and I kind of was like, I'll give it a go. But I really didn't think I would get booked. I was like, who's going to book me? I was like, this isn't going to happen. But yeah, the last semester of uni, I did a unit called Remix Culture.
Yeah.
And it spoke about, we had hip-hop lyrics up on a lecture, and it was talking about turntables being instruments, and I was like, this is really cool. And I kind of thought of it DJing as academia, and I thought that was really cool. And at the time, I was working at a bar, and they fired the promoters and DJs, and so I was making playlists for this place for a Friday, Saturday night, and my playlists out of the other people were going well, so I got paid to make playlists. They just paid me a few extra hours.
Yeah.
I didn't think about it as DJing, but I was like, okay, so this is like when people are eating, and then I'll like put these songs there and whatever, and then I'd be behind the bar seeing how it worked, kind of learning without trying to read a crowd. And this was like iPod, so a song would finish and start, but it was really interesting. And then my sister got engaged and said, will you do the playlist for my wedding? Like, I don't want a band and I don't trust a DJ. And I thought that was the coolest thing ever. And I was like, I can't believe you have that much faith in my music programming. Like, f it, I'll learn how to DJ for your wedding. And so I gave myself a year, did a 6-month course, and that was the start of it.
There you go. And to think you could have been like the Channel 9 newsroom.
I did
Tell me there's footage out there.
No, I went for an interview to do a postgrad degree in broadcast journalism, and I bombed so hard. It was the worst. Thank God, because I wouldn't have wanted to do it anyway. But that's the other funny thing, is that like to be in front of cameras and stuff, like I was painfully shy and really, really, really nervous when I first started DJing. Like I wanted to DJ so bad, but I wanted to be behind a curtain. I was like, I don't want anyone to look at me.
It's like the whole Sia kind of like
relatable, yeah.
You know about Sia, how like obviously she covers her face and everything because she's very shy, and it's that. I guess it's that similar thing. You could just put like a thing over the front of your head so no one knew who you were.
Yeah.
Going back to what you're saying as a female, and people just like kind of like, oh, you got that because you're a female. Something that people overlook, and it's kind of like something that people need to learn as they go. Everybody needs to kind of work out what works for them. So like, even though, you might have got a foot in the door from that, Lewis might have got a foot in the door because of something he does. Everybody's got their own little thing that they kind of use to gain business or do business or get the job done. Like, there's no point copying what everyone else does. Even if you put out your music and then people listen to it, they're like, oh, that was good, and then you rocked up and you're a female, that's something they would have never even known.
I guess people, they judge that book by the cover kind of.
And I've done it too. Like it was... I remember I played at Ginger in Bali. Have you been there? They do this amazing...
No, I know the one you talk about.
Hip-hop night on Wednesdays. Amazing. All underground, nothing commercial, and it's one of my favourite sets I've ever played. But the guy who played before me, who's this amazing DJ, and he was like this white guy wearing a lumberjack, and I was like, he doesn't look like a hip-hop DJ. And then I was like, girlfriend, neither do you. Like,
yeah. But it's
like
that thing too. It's like people knock it, but it's like, if you had access to that, or if you had that available to you, you would be using it too. Like, people always talk about how, like, people are like...
What? Using what, sorry?
Well, for example, some people are like, if you don't DJ on vinyl, you're not a real DJ.
Yeah.
And then they, like, compare the people who started off, like Grandmaster Flash and all that. If he had access to modern technology, do you think he would have said, nah, bro, I'm all sweet. I'll just get my crayon out and draw on my vinyls?
Yeah.
No way.
I think it is, and I think I've read stuff before where people have said, like, is that exact...
Same with photography.
That exact
There's
argument.
some people that say you got to use this, and then it gives this image, and then they might say what you're doing digitally is cheating.
If you're not using film, but it's the easiness of...
And it's like, hang on, mate. Just because I'm using modern technology and I'm taking it that bit further doesn't mean it's right or wrong. You're welcome to use whatever tool you want. Just like if being female or blonde is what works for you, you could dye your hair red. That might work.
Or blue. Or blue.
Like, I get...
Or,
blue.
In different places it's different strokes for different blokes. You know what I mean? Like, whatever floats your boat works. But, like, that's the same. It's marketing tactics. If that's what works for you, that's what works.
Maybe you'd find interesting, like, the other side of it. Like, I've been told you have to wear black and red, less clothes, dress sexier. And it's like...
Black and red?
Yeah. It was
Red's the number one marketing colour.
It was for a certain...
place?
Sponsor.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you have to...
Okay.
Yeah.
And then, like, that stuff, like, that really pissed me off. But then to a certain point, I'm like... comes part and parcel. And, like, I don't know, for me, like, maybe sometimes I want to wear a certain thing, but other times I want to dress hip-hop. So it's like,
either way, it kind of. Have you gotten? And it sounds like you've gotten to that point. Sorry, this is more a question than a statement. But you've gotten to that point where you don't take as much offence to the fact that people like they are not using you, but using like that. Your looks are getting you somewhere, but you know that you can prove your point once you're there, kind of thing as well.
And it's part and parcel, especially working in Asia a lot, and I get it and I respect it. And then I guess there was a time when I was playing in Vietnam where I really learnt how to turn it on. I wouldn't say bad because it was a great experience, but it was really hard because the sponsors, promoters, booking agents, everyone was venue owners were telling me, play this, play that, play hip hop, songs that are at 101 BPM, but play them at 130. Speed, like pitch it up. I was like, that musically doesn't make sense. They're like, do it. So by the end, I was like, screw you. Like, I'll put on a great show, and nothing I did was good enough. Like, even times where like crowd was going crazy, they're like, no. So I kind of learnt at that point really when to turn it on and perform. Like, obviously, if it's a bar set, you don't need to be fist pumping, but like when you need to perform and when it's required of you. And I can turn it on like that now.
But do you think that they were booking you for you, or do you think they were, like, in a sense of like, do you think they were booking you as a DJ or they were booking you as a person?
Not as a person. Like in certain scenario, I mean that one especially, they were booking me because I was a girl for sure.
That's what I'm saying. Like it's like obviously the crowd, you could be doing amazing, but they don't seem to kind of like.
Vietnam was intense. Like I was so stressed, but I came back from it like invincible, and I was like, I can do anything. To the point where the first 3 shows I did were in Ho Chi Minh City, and then the last 3 were in Hanoi. And after I did the first 3 and they'd gone really well, and I was like, I'm going to this other place, going to have to do the whole week again. And I was out with these people, and there was a Vietnamese DJ there, and he said, see this scar on my forehead? That's from playing a breakdown too long in Hanoi, the city you're going to. Someone threw a glass at my head. They go hard there. I was like traveling by myself being like, oh shit. So that's like what you have to deal with.
That was your introduction to...
Yeah, Hanoi.
Was it... yeah, that's... Sorry,
Peaches and cream.
That's somewhere I wanted to go, but I don't know now.
Yeah.
I'm just taking that in that someone just walked up to you and just like, yeah, see that scar on my head? Like... That's pretty... And you were by yourself as well.
Yeah, I was traveling by myself. And I didn't know until I met, like all the other times promoters have like taken me around and been so lovely. There I was by myself. So I was like, had my headphones in, walking around, like, I'm in Vietnam, where am I? And then I made friends with one of the venue managers who took me in, thank God. And she was so lovely. And she said, it is not safe for you to be walking around by yourself. Like, people will come around and cut your bag and just like take it, like, do not walk by yourself at any time. I was like, shit.
Real culture shock. Do you think it has traveling a lot has like culturally?
Oh yeah, I'm so grateful for it. Like definitely before DJing, like for example, the first time I went to Bali was with an ex-boyfriend, and I was so like meek and shy. I wouldn't leave the hotel without him, and like he wasn't allowed to get a scooter. I was like, And now, like he said to me, he's like, I cannot believe you live in Bali and go on a scooter. Like now I can travel by myself and like get on any flights and do all this stuff. Like it's made me so much more confident and independent. So grateful.
You're kind of more, you've made more independence of you. You're not really relying on other people to kind of... not babysit you, but in that sense of like, if you're there, you need someone to like show you around.
I can travel by myself. I'm not scared of it at all. If anything, no, I've lost my point. I'm also like, I'm doing so well because I haven't had a day off, as I said, since the 26th of December. How long ago was that? 2 weeks ago?
What are we now?
Yeah.
The 8th. So.
Yeah. That's why it feels like New Year's Eve to me. I'm so excited. Tomorrow I'm going to like go to the beach and go to yoga. Feels good.
You're going to visit DJ Shan at yoga?
We live 10 minutes away from each other. 10 minutes. We actually have run into each other at yoga.
Tell me
I was like, Shannon. And he's like, hey. And then we went and had a smoothie afterwards. I love Shan.
He's a lovely guy.
We've like, when I started DJing at Rhythm Bug events, he was like 19. And I've seen him grow up and he's just grown into the most amazing young man. I'm so proud of him.
Did you see when he left us?
condoms. I'm so proud of him. He left you condoms.
They're not here. We're still going to get them framed. We're going to get but yes, condoms.
Yeah.
through all the travels and through all the DJing and good and bad experience, have you ever hit a point where you're like, this, I want to quit and just do a regular kind of job?
Well, like yes and no. Yes, because I guess I just never really had a break. Like, New Year's and everyone's on holidays, and at the moment, like, I'm exhausted from what I've been doing, and I've been doing that for like 8-9 years or something. But I got dengue fever in 2016. I went to Bali and did my first month residency, and it was wild. Got back to Perth and then DJ'd, drove home, went to sleep, woke up, and I was dead. And I ended up having dengue fever from a mosquito bite. And my doctor was just like, yep, watch your white blood count. And then I had chronic fatigue afterwards, like bad. Like I could not stay awake. And then that made DJing really, really hard to stay awake at night time, to then go out and start at 1 a.m. and kind of have that energy to build and make an entertainment for a night. It was near impossible. It was really, really hard. Got back from it, went to Bali, did like 3 months straight, playing 5-6 nights a week. And then I've always kind of been fighting chronic fatigue ever since. Like, I'm really, really sensitive to fatigue. And then I got my health back, went to Bali start of last year and got chronic fatigue again with all the tour. Like, I mean, I did it to myself, but when I moved back from Bali last year, I was so frustrated with DJing. And I guess I moved back and I was like, and I'm still not doing club stuff, but I was like, I'm not doing clubs and I'm not doing this and that. And I'm never going out again. And I shut down probably too much of myself. Like, DJing is part of who I am and I love it. And, yeah, shut it down too much. And then I didn't give myself permission to miss it or grieve it or to have it in my life at all. So there was a few months there where I was like, who am I? Like, what am I doing? Where now I'm like, I'm doing the stuff that I love and it's okay. And if I do this or that, whatever, I'm just making it up as I go along. You
kind of just, you get to choose now kind of really where you want to. Like
Left Bank, when they asked me to do it last year, and I was like, no. And then a few days later, I was like, okay, I'll do it. Like, just afternoon set, please.
You're like, okay. Now, as you were saying, you're doing more corporate stuff, and you've literally only just finished the Hotman Cup.
Yeah.
How was that?
It was amazing. It was really intense, but amazing. Like, the team that I worked with were fantastic. As I was saying, I had comms in my ear. And my headphones here just really loud so I could kind of hear my music that I was mixing, and then it's like play a walkout in 2 minutes. I could change that, play a walkout and this and that. And then so it was like 7-8 days in a row, and I'd play like people arriving and then like bang a set before they start, and then announce the players, and then like bang a right before they start, and then playing every walk song and every sit. And then, as it turns out, I didn't know the rules of tennis as well as I thought. So they're like, at the next sit, we're going to do this. And I'm like, yes. And they will be sitting when? So that was interesting.
Yeah, like a crash course in tennis.
Yeah, but it was great. Like, I got to see like that many games.
Yeah.
And it was, but then
do you like tennis? That's the question.
I really like it. I really like it. And seeing Federer, like, he's just so graceful and amazing.
He's Roger
Federer. Yeah. He's so lovely. He's lovely to the ball boys.
He's the hero of Switzerland.
He really is. But to try and keep the music fresh for 7 nights when I'm doing like 3 mini banger sets, and then like, when England are playing, I downloaded English songs, and then when Australia were playing, you have to play Australian songs. And
tell me you played horses.
Of course we played horses. But do you know what's really interesting? As it turns out, like, I really like AC/DC.
Yeah.
Back in Black is like my jam. I'm so into it. And like, pour some sugar on me. I've gotten really into rock and roll. Like, I kind of liked it before, but I'm really into it.
Have we just dropped a bombshell that
I'm a rock DJ now, guys.
Yeah, you're not doing any more R&B.
No.
It's just rock stuff.
Here's one. Did you find when you were traveling and you would drop, because you are the Australian female DJ, when you did drop that AC/DC or something in between, people were like, oh.
I can't say that I ever did before, overseas. No.
You're in Bali and you're like dropping a bit of Akadaka.
I did.
Good on you. Amazing. Oh, and before I forget, I just think it's amazing that you guys are doing this podcast. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Amazing.
Thank you.
To get everyone here is always a bit of a mission, but no, it's a good way to, like, as we were saying off camera, like the whole you're mentioning, like, you don't know what might be interesting, but it's kind of like, to people, like, your life, it would be interesting anyway. Like, it's like, so you think of someone that works at Coles or works, I don't know, you could work anywhere, and you're touring the world DJing. But
I mean, something that's completely different to me, I find fascinating.
Yeah, but that's the flip side of it, is that.
Can I ask a question?
No.
Okay. But because I've had it before, when people don't know me, because what I'm like with my friends and family, like, I'm a super nurturer. Like, I really wanted to bake for you guys, but I literally haven't had time to scratch myself since Boxing Day, so I just didn't, and I'm sorry. I literally wanted to bake. But that's what I do. Like, I'm a super nurturer, and I geek out on nutrition. Like, watching health documentaries is what gets me going on a Friday night these days. So if
it's the
like
hardcore
not knowing,
weekend.
Yeah, and yoga, that's it. But for people that don't know me like that, like, would you have thought maybe from social media or anything that I would be like a bitch or a princess or something?
I'm going to let Joel answer this first, because I have a different...
Get it, Joel. Okay.
I wouldn't have said a bitch at all. I would have thought you would have had an element of glamour to you, definitely, which you did rock up snazzy. Like, you didn't come not looking good, you know what I mean?
Thanks.
But I definitely did not expect the baking thing.
Oh, yeah.
But that's another thing with...
You feel free to bring it, like...
Yeah, anytime.
Don't. I
And
feel
Lewis
bad.
will tell you, people wouldn't know this about me, but I am right into food.
Yeah.
I brought in a cake
Aww.
for the Christmas one. I baked it myself. I make food all the time. A lot of people think it's actually my missus making it, but it's actually me. And she gets quite upset sometimes when
That's
I'm like...
beautiful.
But yeah, he brings in food. Feel free, you can drop in any time, and they won't be here, but I'll definitely eat whatever.
If I know you're bringing something in, I'll come in and bring something in too.
Yes.
Maybe
you're a nurturer too. I get it.
Maybe we should do a segment where we kind of bring in a share and platter, and we can kind of guess who made what.
Isn't that... There's actually a YouTube... Not channel, well, there is channels, but there's a style of YouTubing where you literally just eat food and talk, and it's actually like
So there's everything on there. I love that the guy on Ellen that's going, "Oh, you nasty," and he's watching people make like mayonnaise cakes. Love that.
Yeah,
he's my favorite.
You haven't seen that, have you?
Oh, it's
no,
so
but
good.
it kind of just pops into my head where you're like, they just casually eat. I don't know if anyone's familiar with this, and it's off the subject, but they used to have a full blown serious version of the news. But people stripped while doing it and held a perfectly serious face. And me and my friend, when we were like 11, would purposely stay awake till like 10 just to watch it. And we would just be like, obviously, we were like, oh man, that's so cool. Like, these chicks are just stripping. But it was kind of like, now that I think about it as an adult, I was like, they just like stripped down and perfectly talked about the news in a serious way.
With like 30, 40 people behind the camera, like...
Well, isn't that what porn is? But like different?
No, but the way they delivered it was like...
You imagine delivering a murder or something and be like, this person's been murdering, but you're fully naked.
It was definitely a good way to get people to watch the news.
Yes. But did you listen? Did you retain what they were saying?
I was 11.
Yeah. Boobs.
No, but you know what I mean? Like you just said. Or the beer yoga. What a great way to get everyone to do yoga all of a sudden.
Yeah.
That's the only way you're going to get me to do yoga.
The only way you're going to get Lewis to watch the news is by...
I don't even... It doesn't help, but I don't actually watch the news at all. I watch YouTube news channels, but that's it. I don't watch normal TV. It's just...
I know how to get you to watch
it. Do you watch like Netflix and that's...
Yeah. It's like and I'd have to say the last few years, especially because I was never in Perth, so I was like... When I did a 3-month residency, I was like, this is stupid, having an apartment and a car and stuff. So the more I was away, I was like, got rid of my apartment, put my stuff in storage, sold my car. I just had like a change of clothes-based stuff at my mum's.
Yeah. And
then I was just doing residencies and leaving. I've lost my point. What did you say? This is how tired I'm getting. So continue. I was going somewhere.
You were saying about... Like Netflix.
Oh, watching, yeah.
Yeah.
So Netflix would be like a security blanket. It'd be a stable. Like I'd be in a hotel room or whatever, but I'd always have Netflix.
Yeah.
So that would, I love Netflix.
And I was so how I thought you... Well, I've met you a number of times, but I've never got to sit down and chat with you, but like I guess I'm a bit biased because I knew that you weren't that kind of like snobby, bitchy kind of person. I would say the same as I wasn't expecting the baking thing. I can tell you that right now.
Isn't it weird that like DJing is a job where it's like you're expected to drink during a job? I've always found that weird.
Some people are expected
here's
to,
a-
but
here's a
some
bottle
people
of
just
vodka.
love to.
But I think it's a free thing as well. Like it's that like you're not paying for it, so yeah. Like
Mine was never that. Like it would, especially towards the end touring, it's like, oh, I'm going to have to drink again kind of a thing. And I found it more like if it's a show with my name on it and I have to kind of be performing, it'd be easier to drink, or you can just kind of get through it, or it
Yeah.
makes you more like showy and bravado, and that's what they want from you. So that's
you're not so like uptight and
not uptight. It just, I don't know, makes it easier. Take bigger risks.
It's funny what you're both saying because someone actually said to me, like quite a someone who does it full time, 6 days a week and all the rest, and tours as well. They said that's part of it. When you get booked, you're not just booked as an artist; you're booked as the whole package.
Yeah.
Like, you are a product as well. When you go to the club, you are expected to drink. That kind of might not persuade, but kind of people are like, oh, they're drinking, I'll drink, and it all ties in. It's like if you just rock up, play your set, hey, hi, bye. It's like we're not going to get them back again.
But that's like I've had people and I've met them and they don't drink it. I'll tell you off camera who it is because obviously I'm not going to share who it is on here. But like you see them and they're quite big, but you like as a person, super shy, don't drink, doesn't do like any naughty drugs or anything like that. Like they're very they turn it on for the show, and that's kind of it. And I think you find that there's a lot of people out there that are like in big industries where like you're performing to a lot of people or whatever, where once you strip that away or once that's like you're not doing that, they're super like just...
They're just a nerd or something.
Or they're just like a very quiet person kind of thing. It
was interesting with Hotman Cup. Obviously, you weren't drinking there. It's an intense corporate event. And it was
didn't
like
have
playing.
wine?
No champagne.
No.
Who are they sponsored by?
With a floating strawberry in it.
I don't know.
I thought it was... I'm not going to say it because we're going to get in trouble.
I would have thought you would have been like, no, I didn't drink much, but what I did get
no way.
I got this $1,000 bottle of champagne with sugar frosting across the top with the floating berries in it.
Oh, no. But in there,
gonna-
and I was playing to like 16,000 people. And, in touring around Asia, if it was a big show, I was like, oh, well, I felt as though I needed to drink, or it was part of it. And it wasn't even something I'd look forward to. It was like, oh, I'm going to have to drink again. Where then this last week, there's no alcohol involved, and I'm playing to 16,000 people, and I'm like, it's just the same.
Yeah.
It's
But I think it's in a corporate setting kind of thing.
Yeah.
No, she didn't get any alcohol. She got an intercom. Comms. That was
Smashed
it.
the ear.
Yeah, that was it. Now, I just wanted to quickly, while we're here as well, wish you a happy birthday for a couple of days' time.
thank you.
We didn't
On
get
Sunday.
Yeah, I'm
You
sorry.
didn't bake me a cake?
Hey, it's not your birthday yet.
Yeah. I'm actually playing. I'm DJing on my birthday
Oh, really?
Where at?
at the Cot from
At the
3.
Cot.
If you guys want to come.
Can you tell us the
Playing at
exact
my
day?
own birthday. Sunday the 13th of Jan.
What time?
I start at 3.
Starts at 3.
What
All
are
right.
you doing?
No, we're both working. Yeah,
Sorry.
Yeah,
but we'll definitely.
at the Cot. Might be able to bypass.
Yeah, but we'll see.
Possibly.
We'll see.
Lovely.
But yeah, obviously, I guess it's actually this is something that I've just popped into my head, but I want to ask you as well. For me, I worked on my birthday. I've worked on my birthday every year since I basically turned 18. Do you find that the so like birthdays, Christmas, New Year's, that kind of thing has been desensitized you to because of the industry you're in the way that like you now, I'm working New Year's, or I'm working my birthday, like it's.
I planned to sleep through this New Year's, and I really wanted to. I was so excited. But then I got offered very well paid things, and I was like, oh, well, I'll sleep next year. But, and I'm going to stick to it. But
I love how there's like, it's like, I'm not DJing anymore, But if for the right price, that was last year. New year, new you.
Yeah. But I guess so. Like this is, the busiest time of year and everyone's been on holiday. I guess it kind of has bummed me because my sister's visiting from Sydney at the moment and they got here on the 28th and I've been working through since the 27th. So I haven't really...
Spent time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't been able to really be there with them. Well, so tomorrow I am.
I feel like it's like I was speaking to someone and they were shocked that I was like, I'm working my birthday or like, I'm working New Year's. They're like, what? Like...
You always, I'm always DJing when the clock strikes 12.
Yeah, and it's like, well, literally, like I remember I was driving between venues. Like I shot one, and then literally as soon as midnight
On New Year's.
Yeah, no, sorry, I shot one. It was there from 11:30 to 12:30. So it's literally half an hour after midnight. I'm in a car, like driving to the next venue. It's just, it's another day. But like people were so shocked, like they're like, "You're working?" I'm like, money does magical things.
But on the other hand, this is what a lot of people thought. People thought I was going to be doing what you were doing, I was at home with my girlfriend and my son and in bed by about 10 p.m.
Amazing.
So that's the dream.
That is the dream.
That is
So that's the thing. It's the contrast. People like expectation and reality.
Yeah.
Like
I don't.
You wanted to do that, but then you ended up doing that. It's like I wanted to possibly do something large, but it
you
just
always
so happened that I did something else, and I was really glad that was the outcome.
You always find though. I find as well. I've had moments where I'm like yeah, like this is like the first like Saturday off in like 6 months, and then at the last minute someone's like, "Hey, can you do this?" And you're like, all right. Like it just kind of like every time you plan, like you have like a night off, then
I didn't go. When I came back, I literally, unless I was working and I didn't even do club stuff, so I didn't step foot in a nightclub for like 6-7 months.
Yeah.
And on the Friday nights, if I wasn't playing in a corporate early, I would be at yoga and I'd be like blissfully happy. This is my Friday night. Yes. Loving it.
I just love.
Sounds like really good.
Yeah, I just love the vision.
Try it
6
one
p.m.
time,
go home and cook.
Do you want? We'll go and do yoga one time.
Yeah.
No, we actually.
The AAA podcast.
So you and Shan
goes to
go to the
yoga.
same place, yeah?
We do.
Maybe we should rock up at the same one.
It's hot yoga, by the way. It's like 38 degrees.
Hot yoga.
You sweat.
Not that type of yoga.
By day, I'm a
beer.
tradie, and we sometimes we have 44-degree days, and I'm in the full lot. So
Yeah, so
38
you can do
degree
it.
yoga in whatever attire I get to choose,
Easy.
I'll be fine.
Is there like a beginner's thing for people that? Because you and Shannon gonna be like bending it all over, and we're just gonna be like.
No, I went and it was a 75-minute class, and he thought it was going to be. Some of them are 90.
Jesus.
Yeah.
I thought we were going to do like the 45 minutes.
I don't have 45 minutes at my place.
We'll get there late and leave it.
Oh, look at that! Like
Oh, we thought it was 6:30, not 6.
I get it.
well, we might come and do a yoga.
Definitely something we're going to
They
check
play
out.
music. I actually the owner of the yoga studio, when he found out as a DJ, I gave him some music and now he's playing it.
That's crazy. Wait, you're doing your old playlist that you...
Yeah.
Did you charge him?
No, I was like, Merry Christmas.
Did you give him kind of like the nudge, like, by the way, I'm
No, he
actually
asked for it, and
a
I
bit
was
of
like,
a DJ.
but music programming side of it always comes so naturally to me. Like I've done that for businesses quite a bit, where I can kind of know their marketing and know how they brand themselves and what they need and what time of day, and make playlists is my easy.
Have you ever thought of being approached by like 92.9 or like any radio station to do their like as a music director for them as well?
No, I guess that would be like very, very commercial side.
But even still, have you ever thought of like soundtrack?
Yeah, I really wanted to do that early on, and then I asked APRA about it, and they flooded me with forms, and I was like, nah.
See, that's the thing. Like my dad over in Europe, he said, "Why don't you do this, do that?" And I'm like, the laws in Australia are very, very, very strict.
Those APRA forms.
Yeah.
Vocal or non-vocal? How long did you play for it?
Like I don't know about America or other Western countries or countries in general, but apparently you can just put out a mixtape, sell it for $10. Whereas here, I think someone would be knocking on your door pretty quick.
So there's different a mixtape is that you can use anyone's music and put it
Like
up. But
when
you can't,
McShane came on.
yes, but you can't sell that.
Yeah.
Whereas if you have like obviously an album, you have to clear all the sounds and that. But you can release a mixtape, and it's like. But then nowadays, a lot of
But
rappers,
not sell it for $10.
Yeah, you have to give it
Yeah.
out for free.
Remember when SoundCloud became really difficult? And any sample, and they're just like, and take everything down?
Now they've gotten a little bit better, but it's still not.
I know some people, and they might have had a remix or something out, 450,000 clicks, and then all of a sudden they deleted their entire page.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's like, bro, that was killing it. It's like, it's not now.
Yeah, it's just completely gone. Well, look, we're almost coming to the end, but we do have one last thing that you've.
It's a weird present. All right.
We're not going to even give it any introduction. I just want to see what this is. We haven't even seen it, so
We have no idea.
Well, it was at my mum's, and I was like, what do I bring you, like stickers or like, yeah, I really wanted to bake you something, but then you said you wanted to keep it here. So here you go, guys. You can chuck it out, not offended. Me and my heyday.
it's a giant poster of you. How big is that?
No. Stick it on the floor, whatever you want.
Do you know what's
that's a Sky Garden one. Bali High Premium. Wait,
Funny-
hold it up more.
My mum's like, oh, you've got wrinkles. I was like, oh.
Thanks, Spencer.
No, we'll get it. We'll have it in here. We'll get it. I've got some giant.
Not offended if you don't. I just thought,
We'll just have like that.
I was like, what am I going to do with it? You know, like it's been under a bed.
Wait, you don't want to have that hanging up in your room, like
No.
a giant poster of yourself.
I don't even know why I brought it back. I was like, there you go, Mum. And then she never did anything with it.
Joel did something similar. Do you want me to?
Remember how I said I think that's what I stole in Bali? That's exactly what I stole in Bali. Was a giant poster of me on the
It's cool, isn't it?
on the bill.
And yeah, there you go. You're welcome. I guess that was...
I'll pass that.
It was weird. The billboard thing was weird. And people would ask about it. And now that it will never happen again, I'm like...
Did you not enjoy it like the first one you saw?
No,
You're like,
I was-
oh my god!
I was embarrassed. Like, it was weird.
You're like, this is what I was going to say.
I used it as landmarks though to get around, like scooting, because I would always get lost. I'd be like, there I am, turn left.
turn left at Mish, and then right at giant AO Mish.
yeah, and at the biggest one.
I've actually, funny enough, I've got a heap of framing that I need to get done. I've got like massive.
Don't get it framed.
No, but I've got massive, like an I think AO, like close to that size of Will Sparks, like a giant one as well, and it's life size as well. Like it's but we'll find somewhere to put it up there. We can hang it up. Just have a giant Mish just staring down. Well, look, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Is there anything you want to add, Joel? Anything at the end? Any questions?
Yeah, just some point of advice, that you might give younger girls wanting to do what you're doing, or even just a younger version of yourself. What could you kind of share or give to people that might benefit from everything you've done, and then something you can just kind of wrap it all up with?
And I've done that with a few. I've done that with a few girls that I've tried to kind of mentor in the last few months, pass on the torch. I'm like, get it, girls, get it, anyone. Probably just don't doubt yourself, and if you want to do something, do it. Like the amount of people, and mainly women, the last few years who've said, I want to DJ. I'm like, here's my card, email me, and if you like, I'll give you pointers, whatever you need. And so many don't do it. Like if you want to do something, do it. And I wish I didn't waste so much time doubting myself and not being confident and just went for it.
So if you are like a young girl out there that's wanting to DJ,
and practice, like just say yes at the start. I did that many house parties and long bar sets, and like the more you play in front of people, the easier it gets.
Yeah.
And you can get used to pretty much anything. How shy, painfully shy and like shakingly nervous I was at house parties, and now I can play in front of 16,000 people and not.
But an eyelid.
Yeah. Turn it on. Mish, the cameras are on you, and I'm like, anyone can do it.
I'm totally going to go and find that footage.
Yes.
Thank you for watching the AAA podcast, the show that gives you access all areas to everything music, nightlife, and everything between. If you want to watch more videos, click up here. If you want to subscribe, click up here. Other than that, thank you for joining us, and we will see you for the next episode.